everyone. Welcome to Get Ready with me, Louise. So, Happy New Year. I hope everybody had a great New Year's Eve and stayed safe and might not be feeling the best this morning, but it shall pass. I didn't drink. I don't drink, but I decided this is a fun time to pull out the palettes that remind me of that. Um, which is the Glamlite. And today we will be doing the wine palette. I have thoughts, lots of them. This is the look we're going to do today. And I will say that even the rest of my makeup isn't looking so bad today. I'm kind of impressed. I wasn't expecting it. I mean, I wasn't not expecting it, but I wasn't expecting it to look this good. So let me start by saying for bronzer, I'm wearing the ColourPop that I'm trying to pan, which I've done. I panned it. Look at that. I feel like I will have this gone by the end of the year for sure. Then I used this palette here for my blush and highlighter. The highlighters right here I used is Desert Orchid. That's the name of it. And then the blush I used is this one right here, and it's Nude Venus. And I like these palettes. Did I need them? Probably not, considering I own most of the blushes individually and most of the highlighters individually. But hey, she always throws in that one new thing that I ain't got, so I have to buy it. So it is what it is. But today we are going to be playing with the Glamlite wine palette. I think we could all use a good drink of wine, start the new year, make our list of resolutions or goals or whatever. But this is what the palette looks like inside. It's really pretty. And at first I didn't think it had a shade light enough for inner corner. And I actually can make this shade work. So it does kind of go light to dark. But I also think I could make this shade work and maybe even that shade in the inner corner. I don't know for sure, but maybe. But this one for sure did work. So all in one palette. Although I could have used my highlighter just the same, like I've said. But I do like an all-in-one palette all the same too. But let's go and get started. The first thing we're going to use is Fine Taste. The first thing we're going to taste is Fine Taste. Why not? It's this one right here. Did you all have fun? Did you stay up? Were you able to stay up? Look, I'm going to admit it. I couldn't do it. My age, I just can't do it, y'all. Like, and I'm not saying, like, because of my age, I like going to bed now. I just can't. Like, I like my sleep. And there's times I look back at it, my life, and I'm like, how did I even do that? No sleep. Working, 80-hour weeks. It's like, I just don't know how I did that. I guess more ambition as we're younger. I don't know. Or I'm just out of the habit. I don't know. But that's what I'm excited for this year. Because my daughter is finally old enough. At the end of the school year, she can walk home. Which, it's not a long walk, mind you. But she's finally able to. If we can't pick her up on the bus or off the bus, so, which she does a lot of after school programs anyway, but I'm excited to go get a job again and get back out in the world, although I probably will regret saying this once I get it, but everything's always new and exciting until you're there type of thing. That's me. That's kind of where I'm at. I mean, I'll still do this though, obviously, because I like to do my makeup. So it doesn't affect this at all, but I am really excited to do that. We're going to take that same shade under the lower lash line. And then I think, I want to rediscover who I am. That's another thing, another goal. I'm not the same person I was last year. I'm not the same person I was 5, 10 years ago, And now that my children are getting older, it's like, everything's changing, and I kind of want to see who I am now. Sorry. My fiance's got a cold. And I swear, I'm like, do not give it to me. Please do not. But anyway, and my daughter will be graduating college. And then my two grandkids will be in school, so that just leaves the third one. And she'll be done college, so most likely she'll work in, opposite schedules or something. So she don't need me now, but she won't need me for sure. Most likely. But yeah. So things are changing, and it's like, well, I've been a mom for so long, and I've been a Gigi for so long. It's like, who am I? And I am one of those people that don't handle change well at all. Like, I don't like change. But I think because I'm older, I'm looking towards the future now a little bit. And I'm like, okay, these things are going to change. It's just inevitable. You know what I mean? So I feel like I have to just accept it and move on. Alright, we're going to go into Magnum now. This shade right here. I will say, for a purple palette, this is kind of pretty too. Like, there are more than just purples in this palette too. There is a blue shade. There's like a maroon shade. There's like a pinky purple shade even. Like, there's different variations in a way. You know what I mean? Like, I kind of feel like I could do a pink look using this palette, and it would be a pink that I would enjoy, even though I enjoyed the other one, the pink palette, what was it, Margarita? I have them all sitting here because I'm going to rank them. Yeah, the Margarita palette. It also is not my favorite. Like, I feel like it could have been done just a tad bit better, I feel. I could be wrong, because what do I know? I don't know nothing about makeup. I just play with it. Creating it, that's a whole other world. You know what I mean? I don't know how they do it. I don't know how people do it. Or how they're like, oh, I'd like to create my own palette. I'm like, why? I could never. I just couldn't. It would be because I think it's because I know me and I'm just basic. And there's so many basic palettes out there. It's like, if I was going to do something, I would want to do something that's different in a way, you know? It's sort of like creating a brand. If you were going to create a brand, I'd want to do something different that's not been done before. But I would never want to create a brand. Like, I've never been one that wanted to be like a boss. And not in a, like, the boss. You know what I mean? Like, I've been in leadership roles, which is fine. But I just never wanted to be one that's like an owner and be responsible, because I don't think I could handle it if like something happened, you know what I mean? To have all that responsibility, I just don't think I could. I would feel so awful if something happened, even if it was beyond my control. I just don't think I could do it, you know? And my fiance, he runs his own business, so I'm just like, I couldn't do it. I couldn't deal with the stress and all that. We're going back into that first shade. And everything falling on your shoulders and all that. I couldn't. It's not for me. Alright, now we're going to take that Magnum shade and we're going to run it right up on the lower lash line, on like really close to it. I don't want to lose the lighter purple shade, but I definitely want to like darken up that lash line. And to be fair, I really had a lot of fun playing with this palette. A lot of fun. Because the colors are so easy to work with. They're kind of scary because some of them are dark, but they're not too scary. And then I don't know, I like purples too, so pink and purple I can deal with. And whether it looks good or not, to be fair, on my skin tone, I don't know. But I think it does. And I feel like that's half the battle there. When you're doing your makeup, it's like you want to feel like, you're wearing your makeup and your makeup's not wearing you type of thing. Because to me, when I do my makeup, it's kind of like my personality in a way. You know what I mean? We're just taking that same lighter shade. Like I said, don't want to lose it exactly. Okay. Perfect. So far, so good. I mean, they build, they blend, they're beautiful. Now we're going to go into the darker shade though. We're going to go into the shade Vintage. So we got a nice gradient effect going. And I'm picking up Vintage. And this is a Sigma, I think it says E45 Small Tapered Blending. It's wearing off, but I think this is the name of this brush. And I forgot I had it. And I love this brush. I forgot how much I love it. Because where I have hooded eyes, it's got this pointed tip that just, I mean, puts it exactly where you want it. You know what I mean? And blends it exactly where you want it. So I really like this brush. Now I could do something like that, like a favorite set or something. Those things I could do, but like creating my own thing, I just don't think I could. Like I've played with enough stuff to go, oh, this is one of my favorite brushes, this is another. But that's about all I could do. And I feel like that could be a little bit different because it is personalized. In the fact that if you're a beginner or if you got hooded eyes, like those are the people that I feel like it would be important for. Which brands technically are catering more towards that, especially like hooded eyes, downturned eyes, aging eyes. I feel like brands are going more that way now, which is good. I feel like. I could be wrong, but it's just what I feel. We're just going to darken that up a little bit. I'm sorry again if you can hear the traffic out there. I really didn't think it'd be so busy today. To be fair, I really didn't, but I guess there's a lot of people out. Now, I knew, like, yesterday, a lot of people would be out for sure. Ooh. I just like the gradient effect of things sometimes. Even though I like shine and sparkle, sometimes I just like the color, the gradient effect that I see people, like, maybe not mine in particular, don't get me wrong, but just in general, like other people's eye looks when they go from, and you can see each individual color. I think that's so cool how they do that. I don't do it that well, but I try. And this palette does make it easy to kind of do that in a way. I'm not saying it's perfect, but they do kind of make it easy. And I'm using these brushes here. You know that I used that green palette yesterday, and I said I'm not using my good brushes because I didn't want to stain them, right? And one of the brushes almost stained with the pink, but I got it out, right? So I didn't think anything of it. I figured, okay, it's going to come out no matter what. But the green that I used yesterday actually did stain one of the brushes, and I could not get it out of the brush. Now, the brush that I used is this one here. It's a little Ulta Beauty crease brush, and it stained it. And I scrubbed at it for a good bit, but what I was going to say is that I also noticed that I had another brush stained the same way, and I'm going to bet you it's that palette that is staining my brushes when I use it. I didn't realize which ones was doing it, but it seems like green shadows is what is staining my brushes, because I have this one. I actually have another one. And to be fair, also, I think it's the Glamlite green shades that are the ones staining them. Just saying. So you might want to be careful if you got like white bristles or something, just so you know. I mean, what can you do at the same time? Obviously the color's off, but if you're worried about that, then you know. Alright, I'm going to take that same shade, Vintage, that I just used in the outer corner, and I'm going to line my lower lash line right up on it, though. Like I said, I want that gradient effect. I want to see each one of these purples, because I don't know. I think it's cool looking. And I do think the other eye turned out really, really pretty. I do. Okay, now we are going to go into this shade, Fruity. This one right here. And it's kind of like a purple blue almost. Like one minute it looks purple, the next minute it looks blue. It's so pretty, but that's the shade we're going with. I was going to do Napa, but it was more purple pink, and I felt like this shade looked a lot better with what I'm wearing today, so that's why we are doing this shade. I will line my top lash line also when I'm done this, but I want to show you. So this is me applying it with a brush, not spraying it, nothing like that. I better use this mirror though, because I will say that Glamlite shadows, to get their true potential, you do want to wet your brush or use your finger, and you'll see in a minute why. There's just something about it. I mean, it still looks good like this too, don't get me wrong. Like, this is gorgeous. I'm not saying it's not. And there's no fallout, nothing like that. So I'm definitely pleased with that situation. And there's definitely glossiness, and you can pat it on, but it doesn't give the same effect as it will in a minute. I just want to make sure I get it on everywhere. That color is just so pretty though. Like, I hope you're seeing what I'm seeing. We're going back into that lightest shade for a little bit of blending right here. I feel like I need a little more blending action. And this brush is so good for blending. Okay, yeah. And that looks good. Okay. Now, like I said, we're going to line the top lash line with... No, first let's do inner corner. That's what we're going to do, inner corner. We're going to use Chardonnay, this one right here. And I am barely picking up any because I'm not so sure that if I really put it on there, built it up, that it might be a little bit too dark, you know what I mean, for my skin tone. So I am going in very lightly and just sort of patting it in there in the inner corner. I'm trying to make sure I get both eyes the same. He wants to rev his truck now. First, he wants to walk in on me yesterday filming. I was so annoyed. I know it was written all over my face. I know it was. I apologize. But then he wants to go out there today and rev the truck engine. I don't understand. I really don't. Like, I let him know what I'm doing, when I'm doing it, how I'm doing it, but still yet. Alright, we're going to take Vintage now, that darkest shade, and I'm going to line the top lash line with my refer, because I did want the shade very close to both lash lines. And the brush I've been using, testing, it works, but it doesn't get as close and precise as this little guy does. This little guy is just amazing. And I think I got it. Yep. Okay, so we got it lined. That is a really pretty dark purple too. And it actually blended really nice. Which didn't shock me, because Glamlite's formula is good. You might not like their color story. You might not like not the deep, the dark, you know, your preferences. But the formula is pretty darn good. I'm going to use the shade Crybaby from ColourPop for my waterline. I'm going to use it for my top and bottom. I love this eyeliner too. Like, I think that just makes it perfect, really. Alright, then what did I do next? Oh, the shade. Okay, so the fruity shade. So this is what it looks like, and you can see it looks a little bit duller than this side, right? And that's because I went in with my finger. I couldn't help myself, y'all. So I picked it up on my finger, and I slowly just tapped it in very easily, and I stayed kind of low so I couldn't mess it up, because if you're like me in any way, when it comes to me using my fingers, I get it everywhere in spots that I didn't even want it, you know what I mean? But now look at that. Look, I mean, you can just see it. So if you sprayed your brush, it'd be a lot better. But that is the most prettiest color. The shades in this is what's getting me. The metallic shades in this palette's getting me. It's making it hard to rank. It really is. Alright. For the top lashes, I'm going to use my YSL Lash Class Mascara. But I'm going to curl my lashes first. I know. Who am I? So we're going to curl them real quick. And of course the Lash Class Mascara, that's my favorite. One of them. That and the Gucci. mascara. Love them. Alright, so top lashes. Again, if I could wear falsies, this look would be 10 times better, I'm sure. I feel like. You know, I started thinking, I'm wondering, when I first used these palettes, how I felt about them. Because that was like my pink era, big time. Like, oops. I loved pink. There was nothing better to me than pink, right? So I'm curious on what I thought about these palettes and what I would have ranked them then. Because I don't think I would rank them the same today. Just based on preference. And playing with them again. I mean, I think it's a cute collection. And I think if you got it, I don't think you were disappointed. By no means. Like, that's not what I'm saying. But if like you had to just pick and choose which ones to get, I don't think I would have chose the ones that I would have been mad, I think, at myself for picking the, you know, like the pink palette or something over, say, this palette. Okay. I think that's going to be as good as we're going to get it, or I'm going to make a mess. Which is a possibility with me, as we all know. Me and mascara does not get along. It's going to knock more down. I tell you what, you know what my resolution would be for this year? Clean this mess up. So that if I moved, I didn't knock everything over. That would be my resolution. I kid you not. Because see, here's the other... Oh, here it is. I was going to say, here's the other thing. I lose everything. For the bottom lashes, I'm going to use Cali Ray. Like, I keep my area cleaned as far as, like, my brushes and my sponges. I clean them every day to every other day, for sure, right? I don't even make excuses. I just go and clean them. But I also just leave the makeup sitting around. I mean, it's sealed, but it's still just sitting in my way, you know? And sometimes I do it purposely, but sometimes I just do it because I don't feel like putting it away. And that's where, you know, or it just doesn't have a home yet for that. I feel like I want to put it in a home yet because I'm not for sure like where to put it type of thing. You know what I mean? But overall, I love this look. Let me know what one was your favorite out of the four, and then what one of the looks was your favorite out of the four that I have done. Because I think this one might be my favorite. For lip liner, I'm wearing the Kylie Cosmetics coconut lip liner, old version. And then I topped it with the Bare Glow by Makeup by Mario. Foundation is Armani Luminous Glow. Concealer's Item Beauty. And I set with Huda Beauty. So I'm using up all my Item Beauty concealer, which I do like that because I think they're like gone, right? Is my understanding. Pretty sure. I could be wrong. Don't take me with a grain of salt. Out of everything I say, take me with a grain of salt. I'm going to clean up my little mascara mishap. And I like the tones of this palette. Let me say that too. Like the purple tones, because some purple tones can make you look like you have a black eye, dark circles. I mean, I have dark circles anyway, but you know what I mean. Emphasize them more. And this palette really didn't do that for me. It just looks so pretty and effortless. Now, ranking these. Alright, so ranking these. I think I'm going to have to rank it for sure. This is number 4. It's just like a one-tone, like the looks are always the same type of thing. It doesn't go light to dark. And this palette really is just like a wash of color and then a lid shade, which definitely has its time and place. But the time and place for me in my life would only be springtime. If I'm being honest. You know what I mean? Maybe the beach. Maybe a little bit into the summer, but that's about it. And there's only certain times that I would do that. The next palette would be the Dirty Martini palette. And it's here because you do have a little more options. You can go green. You can just do a neutral look. There's a brown. There's even a blue. So you kind of have a little more options to play with. Whoops. And different tones to play with. It's still really, to me, not necessarily an all-in-one, but I think you could get it to work. I like the look that I did create using this palette, which did surprise me. So that's number 3. Now number 2 and number 1. These are my problems. Whoops, I just lost the paper to that one. All right, here's my problems with these two. I'm looking at them. All right. Hear me out. I think that number 2 would be the chocolate martini. Okay? Here's why. Because I have so many neutral palettes, right? You have options in here. You truly do. And the metallic shades are metallic. They're still boom. They're still my favorite metallics, right? But it's just a neutral palette. And I have plenty of neutral palettes. Now, if I didn't have a ton of, makeup and not a lot of neutral palettes, but a lot of colorful palettes, then this would be my number 1. And the other one would be number 2. But because of my collection, my preferences, all that, let me just say, this would be my number 2. And number 1, and I love the look I did with this, with the chocolate martini palette. But my number 1, I think it's going to be wine. That is so shocking to me. Like, that's crazy. I really didn't see that coming. But with this palette, again, you have purple. You got a blue. You got some pinks. You got the different tones of purple, but like you got this and where you could use this, this, and that and have a pink look. You could definitely use like this and this, or even this and this, like, and then have a more blue look. I mean, there's just so many different things you kind of could do in this that I'm in all of. So, again, I do have a lot of colorful palettes, though. But when we're looking at it as in a purple palette, I don't have a lot of them. Okay? So I feel like that's why this would be number 1 and the chocolate martini would be number 2. But like I said, if my collection was different, the ranking would be different. However, I will say that 3 and 4 would stay the same, no matter what my collection was. And that's all based on preference. As far as colors, as far as formulas in these, they're wonderful. Packaging, adorable. Storing them, easy to store. Now, if you put them back in the containers they came in, not so easy to store. But just even without the containers, like the packaging is still cute. You know what I mean? So I really enjoyed playing with these. I'm really glad I brought these out. I don't know why I did that, but I did. I guess probably because I don't drink. So, and this is kind of the time where, you know, you can in a way. But I hope everybody had a good new year. I hope that you have a wonderful new year ahead of you. I hope everybody stays safe and healthy. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, ring the bell, hit all. That way you're notified when I upload. I upload every day but Sunday unless I have a new launch. And I will see you in the next one. Until then, stay safe and stay healthy out there. Bye.